Yes, Monday in the fifth week, ladies and gentlemen. Monday in the fifth week. I'm very, very sorry to say that I'm currently still in my kitchen. I have to heat up this homemade curry that I concocted. Did you know you can make curry without cumin? It's not good, I don't think. It actually turned out okay. I made a curry paste without cumin. I kind of had to use my 20 plus years of chefing expertise to kind of make the flavor profile sort of kind of work. And it's coming along. It's just about there. Got a pot of rice done. Um, just a timing thing. Hey, everybody! Welcome to Orthodox Review, the most uneducated educational program here on the internet today. I'm your host, the guy with 1.5 thumbs, Raphael. I'm holding my phone. Yes, we're streaming from the phone again. My computer's just. And by the way, someone offered to buy me a new laptop. Like, I appreciate that offer, but I'm not A, putting a band-aid on a bullet wound, and B, I don't think my heart can stand that kind of charity again. I mean, I got that GoPro, which unfortunately now my computer isn't powerful enough to process the video files from. So I really appreciate people, y'all, wanting to help out like that, but let's just all be patient and give it some time, and things will work out. In the meantime, we've got other things to talk about. Y'all saw the thumbnail. We're gonna be talking some mess about some mess here. And let me just put some of the curry on my rice. I don't own a ladle. Isn't that a crime? How a man in a kitchen don't own a ladle, I don't know. Well, because when I moved in here, I didn't know how long I was going to be here for, and so made no effort whatsoever to, Spooky was just rubbing on my leg. I'm assuming that she probably wanted something. But anyway, so we're going to go to the bedroom here because at the very least I can turn the laptop on and view the live stream there so I can keep up with y'all's comments and stuffs. So let's play that game real quick. How's everyone doing? How y'all doing? Y'all okay? Y'all all right? Y'all all right? That's not how the song goes, but we're doing it that way. Anyway, so here we'll put this here where the other camera usually is, and I have to keep remembering that the camera is right here. I keep wanting to look over here, but you're right there. Anyway, hello. So, okay, let's at least we can do that. At least we can surf the webs on this thing still. And I'm just finishing up a cup of coffee too. It's 6 o'clock at night. I'm drinking coffee because I took a nap. I put on some Iron Maiden, passed right out. And let's also remember to mute this so you all can't hear it on your end. All right, so let's go up through the. Wow, okay, y'all been talking a little bit here. Let's chat settings correctly. Okay, so wow, Orthodox Boomer Grandma, I know ya, I love ya. Yeah, curry, you could do just about anything with curry. So here's the curry. Ooh, let's not knock this thing over. Let me tilt this down just a little bit so you get a good look at my St. Raphael t-shirt, but also at the curry. Steamy weenie. This is how bad my computer is, folks. Hang tight. Wait a second. Now, y'all saw me type it in and everything. Just the spinning wheel of doom. There she blows. Thanks to Cetheus. So we got the spinning wheel of doom. I don't know where Spooky is. The landscapers were out across the street earlier, and so anytime she hears anything that's louder than, let's say, a Hot Wheels, she gets very scared. So anyway, well, at least I can keep. Let's check in with the chat before we start talking a bunch of smack about this. Let's try the curry. Let's try the curry. It's all right. Cumin really would have mellowed it out. I think it actually needs salt, which is something I never thought I'd say about curry. but it's food, and that's the important part. Okay, so from the top here, so Orthodox Boomer Grandma, we got you, yes SD with that lovely smile face. Decetheus, pray for me, please. My 5-year-old is accusing her teacher of clawing her neck. Holy fuck! Pretty obvious from shifting stories and physical evidence. She did not. She did it herself. Oof, even worse. Lord have mercy. Everyone, please pray for the 5-year-old child of Decetheus. HHH, hello, back at you. No, where are we? See, now it won't even let me scroll. There we go. Based God says, I'm pretty good. Had a phone call today for the first time with the reader from the church I plan on starting attending, and I pray getting baptized in. Glory to God. Ancient Apostolic. What's up, my dude? Have you ever read The Law of God by Daniel Soyesev? I have recommended it and was wondering, is it compared to the other Law of God? Actually, yeah. I had a copy for the longest time. My friend Mila from Moscow sent me a copy. She actually sent me the entire Daniel Soyesev library 1,000 years ago. Anyway, so when I went to the monastery, I brought them all with me and left them there because I didn't know if they had copies of everything. They had copies of a few things, but they needed them for the library. And at the time, I was grateful to do that. Now, I had that copy of the Law of God for the better part of a year. And so I read through it, and I used it as a reference text constantly. It is, in fact, a modern, and don't read modern in the wrong way, but an updated version of the Law of God that... this one. So, obviously, I haven't really been in a position to pick up a new copy of the Daniel Soyesev version, but you can get it pretty easily. There is an American website that's part of his whole thing over there, so you can get. I think it's only like $35. It's not that expensive. Of course, that was the last time I checked, and it's been a while since I've checked. Ooh, I got curry on my foot. Now I'm going to have a yellow foot. They call me Yellowfoot. There we go. Anyway, so yeah, I highly recommend that one. And in fact, man, honestly, that's one of those books where like I would want to get a case of them for like the catechumens, you know, because it's just. And actually, speaking of catechumens and that book, big news. And it's not just some BS that I'm thinking about doing. It's actually already started. But more on that in a second. John! You can make curry with very few spices and herbs. Looks good. I add raisins, bamboo shoots. Yes, love raisins, and yeah, I love raisins in my curry. Base God, I heard today that it used to be the role of the readers to protect church books from persecutors back in the days of the early church. And thank you, Base God. Yeah, and also since we're talking about rescuing books. In case you didn't know, things at the Kiev Caves Lavra are not looking too good. The other day they posted video where they had people coming in and they were having them take books from the library and everything so that they could preserve them for when they get run out, if they get run out. So, but yeah, it's very important to preserve these books. And in fact, that offer that was going to happen with buying my library didn't come through, and I'm glad because now I just realized now just how important it is that I preserve these things because you never know. That's why Bibles and gospel books used to be chained up in the churches. Absolutely. And man, now you mentioned raisins. I want to put raisins in this. Unfortunately, I have no raisins. Hey, if you want me to get raisins, there's a PayPal link below. It smells good. I almost don't hate me. I almost wish I had like some like sriracha. But it's dinner, so I'm gonna eat it. Listen, it's what I got. That's it. I had some canned foods. Well, this thing is still trying to load the video. This is brilliant. I'm not even kidding here. I've just been looking over here to check out the chat. Look at this. This is my computer. It's pile of junk. course, I didn't pay that much for it. And even so, I paid in payments. Thank you, Amazon. Let's see. The Raisin Fund. Yes, Base God. All the raisins. Not good at Pechersky Lavra at all. God help them and God help us. Yeah, if you've not been keeping up with what's going on at the Lavra, it's disgusting. And finally, like a day late and a dollar short, some hierarchs around the world are coming out and saying, hey, what the crap? You can't do this. Yeah, where were you guys like a month ago? Sure it's not virgins. Throw a handful of virgins in your curry. I mean, virgins. You just made me think of Andy Warhol's Dracula with Udo Kier. Thank you. But I need virgins. Virgins. I love Udo Kier. Anyway, Raph, I'm apparently still a mod on your channel. Yes, Deceithius, you are. That means that you're one of the people that I trust enough to take care of trolls and stuff like that. Although the last time we had a troll in this channel, that was back when my live streams did really, really, really well. It was back in the Chris Anderson days. By the way, I've been talking to Chris Anderson again. Out of the blue, he hit me up on Telegram, and I played it cool. I've been playing it cool. I haven't mentioned anything about the past. We just started the conversation again, and I was in tears when he started talking to me again. I was so thankful to God for mending that for us, so that we can talk again. I love him. I love him very much. He's a good man. I miss Chris too. I did ask him to come on the show to talk about the Kiev thing, and he agreed to, but yeah, he's a busy guy. He works. So, but we still talk. So, I don't know. Honestly, I'd like to wait until this. Maybe if I refresh it. Because, like, oh, there we go. So back in the day, I would have him call on the phone. I would have the phone by the microphone, that whole thing. So, this curry ain't bad, but it's not good. That's what I'm going to say. It's not bad curry, but it's not good curry either. So yeah, we will have Chris Anderson back on the show, especially since YouTube nuked him. He always had he's a well-read man who's got a far better bearing on everything going on than I do. So I love to defer to him for a more knowledgeable insight, especially on geopolitics, stuff like that, but specifically pertaining to the church. But yeah, I'm not getting any of the sweetness from the coconut milk, or maybe, I don't know. Anyway, John, the Zelensky puppet ass just obeying the U.S. Department of State, CIA, Vatican orders as usual. Yeah, Jew's gonna Jew, bruh. Yeah, I try to play nice. I really do, folks, but you would not believe. Before I realized that the OBS wasn't gonna run, I had so many memes I was going to share with y'all tonight. That sucks that I can't. But yeah, anyone who's been paying attention, I mean, the Ukraine thing started back in 2014, and no one seems to remember. Like occasionally, I'll go on Boomer Book and like a memory will pop up of a post I made with pictures of priests in the street trying to stop people from killing each other after the U.S. State Department went in and CIA and overthrew, well, didn't even overthrow, just ousted the duly elected government and replaced it because, hey, they got to play that long game, because, gay child trannies and drag, man, that's our values, and we got to make sure we spread them. New York, that's me. Petition to rename the channel the Curry Review. I mean, I could review curries. Send me money for curry. Send me money. Hold on. I need a bigger nose and a smaller hat. I'm teasing. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I only mean those things in Minecraft. Anyway, you know that the current POTUS was messenger boy between U.S. Department of State and the FNR for years. No surprises there. No surprises whatsoever. Speaking of the U.S. State Department and our duly elected officials, hey, remember 3 years ago when the government somehow got a good 70% of the Orthodox Church to close their doors, deny people communion, to get people to not venerate icons, wear masks and social distance in church, dip the damn spoon in grain alcohol. Remember that? Remember all that? I'm going to tell you right now, it's been 3 years, and I'm still pissed off about it. I remember when all of this first started happening, I was a little nervous. I was like, wow, we've not had a epidemic of any kind ever in my lifetime. Until I remembered that, yeah, we had like several times. But at that point, I guess I was red-pilled enough that I wasn't letting the, what's the word? It's not a very big word. What's the word I'm looking for? Propaganda. Not letting it get to me. Brandon considers himself to be a Catholic in good standing. He has little love for the Orthodox. He has little love for anything aside from sniffing underage girls' hair. He's about as Roman Catholic as my big toe. My big toe is infected, I think. But anyway, so after like the 2 weeks were up, I was like, all right, like enough of this shit. And that's when I started doing the lockdown live streams, that most of which I was instructed by my spiritual father to privatize those live streams because things got getting crazy on there. So unfortunately, those are not there for the general public to watch anymore. But yeah, which is good, because there was a lot of negative stuff on there, like me being drunk and saying all sorts of awful things. So I'm glad you don't do those anymore personally. Thank you, Deceithius. Fear-mongering, yes, base god. That's another one. And that was one of the things that I love talking to Chris Anderson about, was that the fact that certain bishops went along with this, I found very disheartening. Hey, y'all want to go out for a cigarette? Let's go out for a cigarette. I'm also curious as to where Spooky Cat is. By the way, so I folded out my futon after how long have I been living here now? I guess it's about 2 years now. Not for long. I finally folded it out because I found that with the pain in my feet and everything, and my back, it was becoming impossible to sleep. And I will tell you, I folded it out several days ago, and since then, I've actually been able to sleep okay, and it's brilliant. So, oh, you know what? I could have brought the laptop with me. My kid has the same blue icon with lemon or orange flavored 80 proof vodka. What? Oh wait, no. I just started reading one comment and went to the other. Same Squishmallow on the futon. That's great. As most of our old parish were Rusins used to clean the glass covers of the icons with lemon or orange flavored 80 proof vodka. Well, that's delicious. They use rose water in my church. personally, back in the day when we were in the warehouse, I used Windex because I was just like, I'm cleaning icons. Like, there's literally nothing in the canons about what's proper to clean an icon. Um, I mean, you can rub all the rose water on stuff you want, and that's good for getting, like, you know, some of the stuff off, makes them smell nice, but lipstick and chapstick, stick is the operative. Is that a verb? Is it a noun? Wow, my brain really is shot. Mm. So anyway, what are we talking about? Listen, my brain is soup, y'all. Can I tell you about my day? Let me tell you about my day. My day started yesterday. Okay, here's the deal. I gotta show you this too. This is the secret to my success, folks. This is how Windex, man, myself when cleaning the kiosk. Absolutely. Okay, well, Grandma, I'll talk to you later. So this is the secret to my success. You see, I put my feet up here. I spent a lot of time outside in this chair because the neuropathy in my feet is just having my feet on the ground hurts. All right. So what it is this section. I will put the pressure on the arch, and so my feet don't hurt nearly as bad. They're still on fire 99% of the time. Of course, the arch support in these rainbows, if I line it up correctly, works pretty well too. But so full disclosure, let me tell you about my day, all right? Because no one's telling me about theirs. This is how my Lent is going. Let me put it this way. I'll talk to you later, Boomer Grandma. And yes, I will get out to your retreat center one of these days, God willing. Who knows? Maybe I'll live there. So, and it's apropos. Look, there's a big word. So this past week, and as you might have, neuropathy is awful. I have a patch in my face after a skull fracture, improved over the years, but still, yeah. How do you get neuropathy in your face? Like, that is irreversible nerve damage. Ouch. Anyway, I keep getting distracted by y'all, which is a good thing. I want to make sure I'm keeping on top of these things. Anyway, so, you know, the last live stream, we talked a little bit about how it's the lentiest Lent that ever lented. Which I say every year, and it's true every year, because every Lent gets more and more difficult. So this year, I have the blessing of being in the situation I'm in, where it's like the housing situation is very up in the air, not being able to work, being in pain all the time. So of course, along with that comes the depression, and then, you know, as you all know, I have this history with anxiety. And so Lent got off to a really good start. You know, we were doing Psalter Saturdays, right? We were kind of leveling up our prayer game coming into Lent so that we could have like a steady increase in the prayer life and actually maintain something more than usual. I say we because I'm hoping that someone else was doing this too. The optic nerve from fracture, sneezing my right eye would swell like Rocky for a while. That's rough. Eesh. Anyway, so as it turns out, of course, I wound up having to go back to confession this past Wednesday, which was a good thing because I was, wow, man, having a hard time with doubt, and you know the whole, and leading right up to this past Sunday's gospel reading, where it's, you know, the man with the child with the demon, the epilepsy or whatever it was, whatever demon that was, and he says, "I believe, Lord, Lord, I believe, help my unbelief." And it's like, yeah, that's always been like my go-to prayer, and Father Andrew said is, you know, mentioned as much during the sermon about how that's kind of a go-to, and so that kind of summed up my week in a nutshell, and the weather finally broke here, and it got warmer, and so from Wednesday on, I was like, I was doing okay, you know, I was like, all right, I'm okay. I'm like, I'm not happy, but I'm still uncertain. Things are still up in the air, but I'm not nearly as depressed as I was. Things were going really well. And so last night, and the reason, oh, by the way, the reason the thumbnail has a ladder in it is I was originally going to do this live stream yesterday because it was the Sunday of John Climacus and the Letter of Divine Ascent. We were going to do a whole thing on that, but I didn't feel like redoing the thumbnail. So anyway, um, so fast forward to last night, and it is starting to storm. And if there's one thing that sets me off or gets me off, depending on which way the coin toss lands, it is a good storm. So there I am in my room with a bottle of $7 wine, because that's how much change I was able to scrounge up, listening to AFI, like the last 3 records, okay? reading romance, just being weepy. so that's my life last night, and so I fell asleep at, I guess it was before midnight, so I would call that a decent hour. It might have been like 10 o'clock or so. Storms do that, they just knock me right out. So like 4 o'clock in the morning, 4, 5, and 6 are crucial hours in the morning. At 4 o'clock, Spooky wakes me up. And which is surprising because the storm usually just keeps her under the bed. Spooky wakes me up for her 4 o'clock noms. I get up. Andre's here playing video games. So I give her a tuna. I go back to bed. I usually wake up on my own at 5. That didn't happen this morning, probably because I'm actually sleeping a little better. 6 o'clock alarm goes off, and 2 things cross my mind. 1, I need to reach over and turn off the alarm. 2, I don't actually need to get up because I don't have anything to get up for. So I get up. I brew up some coffee. No, I prayed first. That's the thing. I was talking to some catechumens about this at church yesterday, about the idea of the first thing you should do in the morning is pray. And I don't mean get up, get dressed, this, that, the other thing, and then pray. I mean you sit up from bed and pray. And so I had to remind myself of that, because I don't always do it, but it's a discipline. So I get up and I cross myself, and I sit on the couch in the living room, and I'm like, I need to pray. Pray now. Do the pray thing. And then I'm thinking, oh man, the icons are in my room. I should pray in my room. And then like, there's no room to even do anything in my room anymore because I got the futon out. I was like, nope, I got icons on the porch. So I'm like, okay, I just keep prayer on the mind. I make the coffee because the coffee needs to happen. Coffee maker doesn't work. I use it for pour over now. Get onto the porch. It's raining cats and dogs. The storm is still, but it's starting to dissipate. I get a towel, throw it on the chair, and I do my prayer rule. From memory, didn't bring a book. That's what happens when, you've been praying for a while. These things start to stick in your head. And the rain stops. The clouds clear. I mean, it's overcast now, but we got a little bit of sun. But like, I'm sitting here thinking, once I'm done, I've got my feet up, and my knees popping, like, a lot, because that's what arthritis does. And I'm like, this is my life, this is my day. I'm gonna sit out on this porch all day and do nothing. But that brings me to our next subject, which is, it wasn't just nothing. Something new is coming to the channel, and it's not just from me. So the other day, I was talking to a friend of mine, Orthodox, who, in the course of conversation, I was asking. It was Saturday. I was asking him if he was coming to church because on the new calendar it was the Annunciation. He said he didn't know it was the Annunciation. He didn't know there was a service. He didn't know that it was important to come. He was received in the Greek church after 0 catechesis. Catechesis is important, folks. And I immediately started thinking to myself, that's not enough. Pointing a finger and saying, you should have had your catechesis. You people, priests and stuff, need to catechize catechumens. That's not enough. We need more. We need to pick up the crumbs. And so I'm like, I started brainstorming. I was like, I'd like to do a series on practical orthodoxy, where the videos go over subjects of the simple things that we do in our day-to-day lives as Orthodox Christians that maybe you weren't taught because your catechesis wasn't thorough, or you were shy and you didn't ask questions, or what have you. And this just stemming from like, okay, well, this is the importance of having a liturgical calendar and making time for services, blah, 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 blah. To, okay, well, people, for the past several years, people have always been reaching out to me with questions about why do we do this? Why do we do that? What's this? What's that? I'm always happy to answer the questions. That comes to the territory of being a social media personality. So, I started brainstorming. Oh, hey, Spooks. Brainstorming, well, what can I do with this series? And, it was just like kind of a thought, but it was festering with me. And so I get to think about it more and more and more and more. I'm like, the ideas start rolling in. And of course, the way I imagine things is I think cinematically. Like when I think of how I'm going to do an episode, it never turns out the way that I planned in my head. But so anyway, yesterday at coffee hour, I go up to Father Andrew and I'm like, listen, Father, I don't know if I need a blessing for this or not, but I'm going to ask you anyway. I try to get a blessing before I do anything new at the show. That's just get a blessing. Always ask your priest. I always tell y'all to ask your priest. I do it too. And so I let him know what my idea is, and he's like, hold on, that's a great idea. I've been thinking of the same thing myself. And I'm like, do tell. So he's like, yeah, I've always wanted to do a series of videos for the church about, church etiquette and, how to do this, how to do that. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of on a parallel path to what I'm thinking of. And so he's like, so-and-so over here, I'm terrible with names. Okay, forgive me. I don't remember her name. I know her husband's name. His name is Al. Well, his secular name is Al. Great guy. Anyway, her father is a priest in Alabama, but that's besides the point. She has worked in video before. Like, that's what she's done. And he's like, let me put you two together. And so he calls her over. And we start getting rapid, and I'm like rattling off all these ideas and stuff, and their eyes are lighting up, and everything's going well. He's like, okay, I need you two to get together, map this out, and let's get the ball rolling. And so that's what I did today after I realized that I didn't want to be sitting on the porch all day having not done anything productive. And so I pulled out my handy dandy notebook, and I mapped out about a year's worth of content in this one series. Starting from the moment you arrive in the parking lot at the church to the moment you're walking back out of it and beyond. I mean, oh man, I left the notebook out on the porch. Sorry. Anyway, so just going through the motions there. And then I started on another section of like orthodoxy at home. Okay, how do we do the prayer corner? Now, I did Prayer Corners 101 back in the day. It's a great introductory video, but like it doesn't answer a question of whys in the prayer corners. So we've got all that. We've got praying before and after meals, not being ashamed of making the sign of the cross in public or at home, and making sure we pray over our food, things like that. And then also like the little things, like what's up with the candles? Okay, my brain's blank now because I put it all on paper. Yeah, just all these things. So I've got like a year's worth of content mapped out. It's there. And so I was talking to them earlier today, and I'm like, okay, so I've got this outline now. I need to get together and just make sure everyone's on the same page with it before I start writing scripts. And here's the thing. Writing scripts is tedious. It's great in my head, not so great on paper. So pray for me on that one. But the cool thing is I don't have to do this one alone because I don't even have to be in front of the camera for this one. I can get other people to do that. All I got to do is write this stuff down. I'll probably wind up doing the voiceovers. But between the two of us, we have some, and thank you again, Peter, for the GoPro. Because, yeah, all this stuff is going to, it's going to come together great. I'm already lining up shots in my head. It's happening because I'm not the only one involved now. So it has to, it's going to happen. Whether I feel up to it or not, whether I'm depressed or not, whether I'm excited about it or not, it's happening because I've signed on and that's it. So be on the lookout for that, or at least updates on that. Let's check in with the chat and see what you all have been talking about. Boop, 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 boo. The Cetheus, Space God. One of my big things as of late has been trying to reduce my caffeine intake because I kept noticing I couldn't concentrate through any sort of morning prayers without having a cup of coffee first. That's the human condition, my dude. But God bless you if you can get off the caffeine, especially if you're young. If you're young, it's easy to get off of it. When you're old, not so much. Listen, I could have done my prayers. Wait, I didn't drink the coffee before my prayers. I made the coffee before my prayers, but I didn't drink it before my prayers. So that's a thing. How about waking up and bedtime? Yeah, it's all in there. It's all in there, dude. Yeah, praying when you're rushing. It's all in there. This is all really exciting stuff to a beginner like me. Can't wait to see it realized no matter how long it takes. Me neither. I'm excited to get it done because the quicker it gets done, the quicker it can start helping people. Young enough to have not developed a full-blown dependency as of yet. Very lucky in that regard. Yeah, and that's the thing about caffeine too. I mean, caffeine is one of those things where, like, if you just edge off of it slowly, it's not like quitting smoking cigarettes or quitting heroin. You know, it's actually a pretty easy one to get over. And at my age, this cup of coffee now, and I poured this cup of coffee. I started drinking it right around about the time we started the stream. It's now been 37 minutes, and I still haven't finished it yet. This will keep me up all night. Anyway, excellent idea. Talking about basic Orthodox terms in the channel. Yeah, thank you, Seek for Truth. It's one of those things where, like, there's always been, you know, individual episode ideas in the back of my head that, I'll be honest with you, like, I could be cranking out a lot more content right now if I wasn't so depressed. I'll be honest with you, it's easier for me to do live streams right now because I can just get in front of the camera and be honest and rattle things off and kind of go from there. We didn't really talk too much about the jab, did we? A show of hands, how many people keep up with that sort of thing? Anyway, well, the reason I wanted to talk about that and the reason it's in the thumbnail is because, okay, after 3 years, what did we learn? We learned that we were lied to, obviously, that we were coerced into doing things we should not have done. And now, of course, the cows have come home to roost, so to speak, because everyone, myself included, who has been saying, hey, this jab cannot possibly be good for you, have been vindicated because you have flying spaghetti monsters in people's blood now, thanks to it. I was looking at some data today about mortality rates in the U.S., and our under 30 crowd is dropping like flies, statistically speaking. And then my mind always goes back to the bishops on this one. And listen, I know we're not supposed to talk schmack about bishops. I get it. But, like, after that, I I don't know that I trust our bishops at all. Ugh. That's bad, right? That's bad. I should. That was the one subject that I was like, I still haven't quite figured out how to talk about that. Because I'm not an expert in this, folks. Like, what happens when we can't trust our bishops? Like, what's the historical precedence there? Torches and pitchforks, typically. It's rough. Like, living in this information age where everything is up in the air and you can't tell what's true and what's not. It's, I mean, there's that part of me that wants to, like, kind of sit back and be like, whoa, not on my pay grade. There's part of me too. Listen, yes, there were bishops promoting the jab, and I'm not naming names. I'm sorry. Like, I'm not going there. But just bishops in general just kowtowing to the government so quickly, just really shook my confidence and trust. Like, because when we begin to learn about Orthodox history, during our catechumenate and as the years go on and we hear about these saints in the church and the persecutions and the things they stood up against and the things they bled and died for, like, saints have given their lives for less, And with the exception of a few jurisdictions in certain Slavic churches, lockdowns were a thing. Restricted services were a thing. Masks. Like, listen, I can almost, but not quite, I can almost justify wearing a mask in church. Like, if you're sick, and you don't want to spread your sickness to other people, go ahead and wear a mask, and that'll maybe reduce that. But, like, there's this woman, I don't know what Eastern Bloc hellhole she came out of, but she has not stopped wearing a mask. It's been 3 years, and she's still masking in church. All right, whatever, dude. Like, it just makes me, like, wow, you really drank the Kool-Aid, huh? Maybe she's sick. I don't know. I'm judgmental, aren't I? But anyway, so, like, yeah, the whole situation just got me thinking, like, spooky. Sorry. Spooky? What's the matter, baby? Hold on a second, guys. Spooky, you mind telling me what's wrong? You were the one making noise, not me. Well, I mean, I was making noise. I was talking. Or am I hearing stuff? Am I hearing stuff, honey? Okay. All right, back to the live stream. Sorry about that. I get worried quick with her. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, so, because we all know something else will come up. They'll come up with something else. It'll be another. And I'm just like, I don't have confidence in a lot of the bishops in North America because they drank the Kool-Aid too. And it was like the masses, it was us, it was the faithful who were like, no, this is horse hockey. And we're barred from the church against our will. And I'm still upset about it 3 years on. I don't have answers, all right? I've got some WD-40, but I don't have answers, What do you guys think, man? Like, where are you at? Come on, talk to me here. Like, this isn't an echo chamber, all right? This isn't like one of those little bubbles in other segments of the Orthodox online community where it's just like, oh, this is it. Blah, 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 blah. No, we're having a conversation over here. It's a two-way thing. So chime in. Your bishop is cool, huh? That's good to know. I thought my bishop was cool too, and he kind of is, but he also kind of isn't. Very excited to hear new content is coming. Yeah. Well, Peter, you're part of it. Thank you. Nope, I'm not jabbed either. You just need 5 more booster jabs. Yeah, right. I know, Peter, I know I should trust my bishop, but I'm weary of it because, like in any relationship where someone does you dirty, it leaves a mark. Um, where are we at here? I wear a mask still, but only because my wife thinks we need to when leaving the house. She's immunocompromised, but it's getting tiresome. Yeah, well, she should wear one then, I guess. Masks don't really work. Like that, you want to talk about settled science? I mean, numbers don't lie. Masks just don't do much of anything. Like, masks are for stopping moisture particulates from spreading. Germs can still come in and out, but at least you're not spitting on people. Only other person I know of who wears a mask is a literal cancer patient. Well, there you go. When do we draw the line to stand up for truth? The line was drawn ages ago, I would imagine, and we just, we ain't got any balls. Never expected my small. This is base guy talking here. Never expected my small town in North England would be as prone to paranoia as New York, but I was wrong. Yeah, no, they duped us all. They duped us all, folks. For me, if we are in a heavenly space, we would and have Jesus' protection, don't we? Yeah, our souls do. Jesus is the comfort of our souls, of our immortal being. The body is, temporary, right? Like, just because we're in church doesn't mean a bomb's not going to fall on it. There's no like magical, like, oh, I'm in a safe space. I know it's weird use of that term, but just because we're in a church building doesn't mean we're immune from things. There are certain things that cannot happen. Disease cannot be conveyed by the elements. Sorry, they can't. Impossible. Has never happened, will never happen. Can you get sick from kissing something covered with germs? Yeah, probably. Should we trust God anyway? Absolutely. Many bishops were advised by medical professionals, and though wrong, doctors were also lied to. Bishops should have had more discernment, but they are like missing the mark. Fauci himself said that masks don't work. They were mainly a sign of social solidarity, he said. Yeah, he's a fucking liar anyway. They impeded large droplets from coughing and sneezing, but that's about it. That's what I just said, pretty much. And John, here's the thing. No bishop came out after the fact and said, oops, sorry. Nothing. An apology would be nice. I'd settle for an apologies. An apology. Many apologize. I just, even if they still think they did the right thing, that's fine. But at least have the heart to come out and be like, listen, we know that none of this may or may not have been necessary. We're sorry for any disunity this may have caused, or any distrust or any fracture this has caused in the community. It certainly wasn't our intent. Pray for us, we're praying for you. Simple. Joachim, I never said I was duped. Earlier on, I was pretty clear about how, like, anyone with a brain between their ears knew what the fuck was up from the very beginning, or near the beginning, I should say. I want an apology from the bishops for dividing the church. That's what I want. Why didn't they wear the Black Plague masks? Okay, so for those of you that haven't figured out how to do a Google search yet, those plague masks, doctors would wear those. And the reason they were long like that is they had herbs in the beak to cleanse the air they were breathing. It was really bad science. Really cool looking, but really bad science. Yeah, Joakim. No one ever said that we were all duped. Just a select few. But I will give them boomer level wiggle room for trusting the media. Oh yeah, okay. But we have to see who was who, what was what, and who the Karens were. Yeah, John. I mean, we're gonna get over this and we're gonna move past it. It just still hurts, you know. What was it Weird Al said in "You Don't Love Me Anymore"? The wounds were all healing, but the scars never will. Like the most poignant thing he's ever said in a comedy song. Tinfoil hats worked better than masks. Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. And speaking of tinfoil hats, I don't want to get into the UFO thing. Jay Dyer's doing a bang up job with the UFO thing right now, so I'm going to leave that one to him. Woo, we're coming up on the 1 hour mark. I honestly, I came into this live stream not knowing what was going to happen. I always come into these live streams not sure if I'm going to be able to maintain for an entire hour. Although back in the day, we used to do like 3-4 hour streams, didn't we? Of course, I was more. There was a lot more going on back then, I think. Oh, my scars were all healing, but my heart never will. Thank you, Peter, for the correction. I hate it when I get Weird Al wrong. Yeah, honestly, if the computer was working better, you know, we'd be doing this from the OBS, and we'd be pulling off some news articles. I'd be showing you those memes. I have so many good memes to show, and I can't because we're doing it on the phone. I was tempted to get one when we were to wear it in public. What, a mask? A plague doctor mask? I thought the same thing. When they started saying that you have to wear masks in public, I was working at the vape shop, and my first thought was like, this is it. This is my chance to start wearing a Darth Vader helmet everywhere. And to this day, I kick myself for not buying like some sort of costume mask. Just to be that guy, because I'm that guy. Like, I will troll you. I will. I'll do it. There's not been an apology from the medical professionals. Let's say they are bound by liability lawyers. Yeah, listen, the whole thing's a fucking mess. Until the bishops come up and say, hey, listen, about the whole lockdown thing, like, we didn't know, like, we were just trying to do what's best, you know, like, hug it out. Anything. Acknowledge that shit was fucked up. You know what? Okay, maybe I'm compromising here, but if a bishop came out and said, well, like, and just came out and was like, yo, like, shit was fucked up, man. Just acknowledge that things were fucked up. Just do that. Do that. God bless it, that's a step in the right direction. Instead of just being social media personalities and the ortho bros and this and that, they are bad for you. What? Church numbers are increasing because of these people. Fools. Gosh. And that's the other thing too. When certain people come out and try to bash Orthodox YouTubers, whether they're clergy or otherwise, because they make problems for the church. Listen, the only problem they seem to be making for the church is increased numbers and need for a larger building, as one priest chimed in and said. Listen, when these people come out against Orthodox YouTubers, they're coming out against me and against anyone that isn't on AFR, pretty much, because, you know, I gave up on them ages ago. But it's just like, I've got a blessing to do this show. Like, it's here. I talk books most of the time, thank God. But, like, occasionally we talk about other things that concern Orthodox Christians. And if that's a problem, I don't know. Maybe talk more, yo. Maybe if the bishops got up on the YouTubes once a week and just said, "Hi, this is what's going on." Wouldn't that be cool? Like, wouldn't it be great if, like, American bishops got up on... Like, there are bishops in other countries that regularly interact through media with the people. And that's a long-standing tradition, my friends. You look at Metropolitan Anthony Bloom of blessed memory. You know, Russian expat escaped the mess, wound up in England on Radio Free Europe on that boat out there, giving sermons every week. And we have tons of books because of that. To this day, St. Elizabeth's Convent, you got weekly sermons coming out of it. Like, I mean, a lot of these channels, they don't have English subtitles or anything. Some of them do. It's like the clergy and the hierarchy in other countries regularly interact with the public through the media. Like, why the fuck is that not happening in America? Why are they all so content to hide out in their offices? Pissing me off, man. Come on, we can do better. Say, well, Bishop so-and-so doesn't really like to. I don't care. Like, it's the bishop's duty as our father to interact, to talk to us, not hide out in their office in Texas. Just checking on some of these comments here. I'd be tickled if a bishop would be like, there was a fog of war situation and we trusted the wrong people who lied to us and told us we were immoral for gathering in worship. Yeah, there is never, ever anything immoral about Orthodox Christians gathering in worship. I know many medical research professionals that feel the mistrust and anger. Give the bishop some space, forgive them, for they knew not what they did. We are bound in a world that is broken. I'll give you half of that. All right, I'm willing. I have to forgive because that's what we're called to do. But you know what? That doesn't write off the situation. I still believe that they should come out and say something, anything, instead of just sweeping it under the rug and acting like that never happened. But yes, Peter, I'm with him on that too. Listen, folks, it's been just about an hour. We're gonna have to wrap this up here soon. Updates from bishops, that would be cool. We're not like the Brandon Cern sends updates when he's writing books, right? Yeah, no, there's no excuse for our bishops in today's day and age with our technology to be so hard to hear. Sorry. You shouldn't be on social media. I don't give a shit. I don't care. You say whatever you want. I want to hear from my bishop. I want to hear from your bishop. I want to hear from any bishop. I'm sick and tired of hearing from two extremely polar opposites out of the clergy about crap that I just don't give a shit about. I want to hear from our bishops. I want accountability. I want consolation and comfort. That's what a bishop's supposed to be giving us. Supposed to be a spiritual father of the entire diocese that they're head of, right? Well, start acting like it. Go on tour. Look at Jesus and the leper and Pharisee. Okay. Do you have any comments at all about the Orthodox Old Calendarist jurisdiction? Yeah. Yeah, I do have comments about them. Oh, you want to know what the comments are? Yeah, stop being schismatic, bruh. Schism is still schism, I'm sorry. Like, even if our bishops are a fucking mess, the church is still the church, and if you're in schism, you're in schism. That's how that works. Thoughts on Western Rite Orthodox Federation post-schism saints? Is haram, is heresy. Sorry, post-schism saints are just that, post-schism saints. We do not recognize them as saints. Like, if you're into Francis of Assisi, you think he was a cool dude, good for you, but sorry, not recognized as a saint. Did you lose me? No, my head's all over the place. Hi, John. All right, folks, it's 7 o'clock. We got to wrap this up. Believe it or not, I know that after the 1 hour mark, my brain melts. So I'm trying to give you guys the best. You wanted the best. You got subpar. Anyway, thanks everyone for tuning in and being part of the shit show. We'll be back in a few days with more stuff. I'm trying to gather more materials for more structured live streams. And the more I know about the upcoming series, as the planning stages move ahead, I'll keep you guys updated, as always. If you're not already a Patreon supporter, give it some thought. And by the way, if you are become a Patreon supporter, make sure that your mailing address is in your personal information because there's perks. There's merchandise that's free that you get for being a Patreon supporter. Shh, it's a big secret. Don't tell anyone. I know I'm a minute off. I'm always a minute off because early is on time and on time is late. See what Saint Father Seraphim Rose had to say about Francis of Assisi. Good. Yes, go do that. Wow, Midnight in the UK. That's a great name for a metal band. Like if you're gonna do like a throwback, like second wave of British heavy metal band, like Midnight in the UK. That's great name for a band. All right, I'm calling it. Peter B, you're not a Patreon supporter, but you are a channel supporter, and you're just as based. Hey, we're Midnight in the UK, and this is the House of Lords. Okay. Oh, the metal thing. Yeah, see? I'm losing myself. All right, folks, we're done. On behalf of Spooky Cat and myself, please continue to pray for me because I'm a freaking mess, and I am far beyond worst among sinners, and I am a horrible example of a Christian and of Christ's love and compassion. So please continue to pray for me, and I will try my best to continue praying for you. And on behalf of Spooky Cat and myself, don't forget to go to church, say your prayers, and remember God. I love you all to bits and pieces. I meant it then, I meant it now, and I always will. Are you sure you want to stop streaming? Okay.